This is WFYI News Now. It's Friday, December 12th, and I'm Sarah Neal Estes. Here are the top stories around central Indiana. Indiana lawmakers voted 19-31 against the congressional redistricting called for by President Donald Trump. Ben Thorpe has more.
The defeat in the Indiana Senate, where 40 of the 50 members are Republicans, is the first time Trump's redistricting campaign has been voted down by members of his own party. Republican Senator Greg Good was the first lawmaker to face a swatting attempt and has been called out on social media by Trump himself. Good called on lawmakers to focus on what really matters to constituents, issues of affordability and job creation.
My vote on this legislation will reflect just that. Common sense.
After the vote, Republican Senator Mike Young spoke on the bill's failure.
We've cost our nation, we don't know how much, but we've cost our nation.
Governor Mike Braun supported Trump's demand for redistricting. In a statement, he threatened to back primary challengers running against senators who did not support redistricting. I'm Ben Thorpe.
In the Oval Office after the vote, Trump blamed Senate President Pro Tem Bray for the defeat, saying Indiana missed a chance to pick up 2 Republican seats in the U.S. House.
You had one gentleman, the head of the Senate, I guess, Bray, whatever his name is. I heard he was against it. He'll probably lose his next primary, whenever that is. I hope he does.
The defeat of the bill means Indiana's current congressional map, originally drawn in 2021, will remain in place for the 2026 midterm elections. House Republicans and the Trump administration have proposed significant cuts to the Environmental Protection Agency next fiscal year. They say it's an effort to reduce, quote, wasteful spending and to give more environmental oversight back to states like Indiana. But the Environmental Integrity Project now says it's unlikely states can shoulder more responsibility. Rebecca Thiel reports.
More than half of states have cut funding for their environmental agencies since 2010. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management's budget went down by 19%. That includes cuts to programs that respond to environmental emergencies, manage hazardous waste, and control air pollution at major facilities. EIP Executive Director Jen Duggan says critical state programs have already taken a hit.
And continuing to weaken the federal EPA at the same time would leave significant gaps in public health protections and heighten pollution risks for communities across the country.
The White House's budget would also cut federal funding that supports state environmental programs, including projects for safe drinking water. I'm Rebecca Thiel.
Though IDEM's staffing levels have rebounded since the pandemic, they're still 16% lower than what they were 15 years ago. Indiana's infant mortality rate was at a historic low last year, according to the Indiana Department of Health. But despite the decrease overall, Black infants continue to die at the highest rate. Tamoria Cunningham reports.
In 2023, Black infants were dying before their first birthday at nearly double the rate compared to other racial or ethnic groups. There were over 13 deaths of Black infants for every 1,000 births in Indiana, while white infants were slightly over 5. Joy Crenshaw is the president of the Indiana Black Breastfeeding Coalition. She says prenatal care is vital during pregnancy, especially during the first trimester, but many women don't receive care until they are 12 weeks pregnant. Crenshaw also says some healthcare providers also have an unconscious bias against Black women, which makes it difficult for their health concerns to be taken seriously.
When we are communicating our needs and what is happening in our bodies, we're just not taking it seriously. And so that dismissive thing that happens, then we have poorer outcomes.
Crenshaw says providers need to address that bias in order to mitigate the issue. I'm Tamoria Cunningham.
The National Weather Service forecasts more snow Saturday and very cold temperatures this weekend, with a high of 9 or 10 on Sunday. If you're planning to be on the road, take extra time to prepare your car and allow for more travel time. There's snow and ice out there. Leave plenty of room between you and the car in front of you. And from our public media reporting partner in Fort Wayne, Indiana, a library hosts the monks of India's Labrang Tashi Kyil monastery this week as part of a tour for world peace. They will complete a sand mandala in the lobby and ritually dissolve it in a ceremony. Ella Abbott watched some of the process.
The tool we are using is called I don't know what's called in the English, but in Tibetan we call chakbuk. So it's made with the copper, and all the tools are different, like a design or size. So somewhere we use very fine tool, and some are very kind of normal, a very thick size. So all the tools are different size. You put sand inside the tool and then just vibrates and the sand comes from the tools. My name is Labrang Tashi Kyil. We are 4 Tibetan Buddhist monks from India. But the mandala we are making here, it is specially designed for the world peace. And you will see at the center globe and for animals. The animals at the center of the globe called 4 perfect friends. Those represent about the harmony and the loving kindness and how they respect each other. The next to this circle, we have 10 major religious symbols like Christian, Buddhism, Islam, and Hinduism. So we need to respect each other, and we need to live with the harmony and world peace. So making mandala and at the end then just dissolve it is also practice of impermanence, in this world how this beautiful art, how beautiful, strong, powerful, is nothing stay forever. And once we just done the dissolution, we put sand in the river, like the moving water or creek, and so it's represent that the sands come from the water and it's go back to the nature. If you look this world, in current situation, it's very important to practice about the world peace, So that's the one reason we are sharing a message which is based on the loving kindness and compassion to all the people.
That's India's Labrang Tashi Kyil monastery on its tour for world peace this week in Fort Wayne. That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by Zach Bundy with support from the news team at WFYI and public media journalists across the state. Kendall Antron produced our music, and if you liked today's episode, please remember to subscribe and share, and follow WFYI on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube to get the latest updates from our newsroom anytime. Thank you for listening. We'll be back Monday, December 15th. Have a great weekend.